J.
Alright, ¿cómo estás, people? And welcome back to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay Real. We have a really good beginning of the week show for you all. So right now we're just going to go ahead and dive into the NBA. That's right, the finals are over. The Heat did what the Heat are built to do, which was to win another championship. Now, we are going to give them their props. They had two difficult series back-to-back with Indiana and the Spurs. They came out, they persevered, and they showed a lot of growth in them. We have no doubt, and we have nothing bad to say about them for doing those particular things. This is the problem that we're having right now with the media today, and of course numerous sports radio shows, sports talk shows, whatever you want to call them, is how they're going on and attributing this team as like so magnificent, like them accomplishing this feat, winning another championship, is just so overwhelmingly surprising and such a miracle and so overwhelmingly just great and fantastic that the Heat won another title. All we're saying, and I think anyone with common sense and that knows anything about sports, all we're going to say is, it's not that it's so amazing or so great, it's just what they were built to do. And we've been saying this time and time again, show after show. It's not so much hating on the Heat. The Heat are supposed to win. They're not supposed to go to a 7-game series with Indiana. They're supposed to sweep Indiana. They're not supposed to go to a 7-game series with the aging Spurs. Now, granted, the Spurs, and I was rooting for the Spurs, so I'm not trying to not say I wasn't, but we were just hoping that the Spurs would somehow find a way, because we felt that they were a better team. Not individually, but team. The Spurs were more, they had spent so much time together. They knew each other's moves before the other person could even react. That team atmosphere from the Spurs is what we were hoping would be able to overcome the talent of the Heat, and unfortunately it just can't happen. Right now, the way we're looking at it is the Spurs are going to be the Heat are going to be left alone to go another season with what they have right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're not in the finals next year. It's not amazing. It's not a miracle. They took 2-3 of the best players in the NBA, put them on one team, and then surrounded them with a bunch of number 1 draft picks. They were flameouts from other teams, but are gelling on the Heat. It's not surprising, folks. That's all we're trying to say. We're not going to hate on the Heat. Good for them. They're doing what they're supposed to do. But let's back up and go to Game 6. Folks, the Heat were done. The Heat were all but put a fork in them. The fat lady was singing. The Spurs up 5 points with 22 or 28 seconds left to go. That typically is a done game. 98.7% of the time, the team up by 5 wins. You cannot fight those statistics. They are what they are. That's fact. What happened here, though, is the Spurs just blew themselves up. They had critical mistakes. They had critical errors. And they missed the critical free throws that were needed to put this game away. It's just common sense, folks. If you get fouled with 20 seconds left and you're up by 5, you've got to make your free throws. Why? Because the team on the other side, which were the Heat, are betting and praying to God that you don't make your free throws, so they'll get the ball back, cut the game to 2 or 3, foul again, hope you miss your free throws, and score again all in 20 seconds. And it's just amazing to us that this is even a question on how the Spurs lost this game. There is no way in the world that the Spurs could lose this game, but they did. So the Spurs are going to have to live with this loss. I mean, they had a championship in the bag. All they had to do was hold on for 28 seconds, missing their free throws, turning the ball over. I mean, it's almost as if in the last 20 seconds they stopped being the Spurs and turned into some minor league basketball team. It's pretty amazing to see a team like the Spurs give up a championship, but again, they're going to have to live with this one. They had it. It was in the bag. Game 6, it was over. They were champions. As a matter of fact, as we said in the last show, they were bringing out the trophy. They were bringing out the champagne. They were taping up the crowd so they couldn't jump onto the field or onto the court. I mean, it was over, and they just gave it away. That's going to be a tough pill to swallow for many years for the Spurs. But, going back, as we were saying, the Heat, good job to them. Not a shock. Not an amazing feat. All that stuff needs to go, folks. They're a great team. They were built to win championships, and it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. As a matter of fact, how could something be a surprise when LeBron James himself has announced pre-first championship that they're going to win 7 to 8 to 9 championships? He's already projected. He's already predicted that they were going to win these championships, and they're already two down. So they were almost 3 away, or another one away, but because of their immaturity and their first year being thrown together as the Big Three hadn't quite clicked yet together, and they let the first one slide to Dallas Mavericks. Otherwise, they would have 3 championships in a row on the books. So, anyway, the Heat will go for a three-peat next year, and again, we're going to say right here, it's theirs to lose. We don't see anybody. You'll have your Indiana again. Spurs will be absolutely too old and ran down. As you saw, they got gassed at the end of Game 6, gave that away. Game 7 got rolled. And it's hard to see Oklahoma doing anything because they choke it up every year. And then the Clippers, with their new coach, we're going to just jump right onto that. They went ahead and gave a first-round draft pick in this next year's draft to acquire Doc Rivers from the Boston Celtics. So, as of today, Doc Rivers is now the Clippers head coach. And they got a team. They have a lot of talent. If you look at Blake Griffin, he is like the white LeBron James. Big guy, big body, very fast, very athletic, and the guy is like phenomenal when he gets in the paint. This guy will posterize you worse than any other player on the planet. The problem is they're prone to give games away. They get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs this last season. That's ridiculous. Should not be happening. Next year, hopefully with Doc Rivers, they could push and really give Miami a run for the money on the championship next year if they can get there. Because you know Miami's going to be there. It's just that simple. Okay, moving on. We are going to go ahead and run into and jump into the NFL. What's going on in the NFL is it's still a lot about Aaron Hernandez. This guy has to be one of the biggest fools on the planet. He just signed a huge multi-million-dollar deal for years. The guy's set up. The guy is rich, single, and just living the life, playing a sport. And what does this guy do? He goes and hangs around guys that are killers, murderers. Now, we don't have all the facts. The only fact that we do know is that 4 guys went out together, 3 went back to his house, 1 is found dead not less than a mile from Hernandez's house with a gunshot to the head. Now that's fact, folks. What else happened, why, who did it, all that, we don't know. if you were in a situation where you're Aaron Hernandez, just signed millions of dollar deal for lucrative years, young guy playing football as a job, this guy should have been with the police at the freaking crime scene or at the body, showing them this is what this happened, this is where this happened, this is who did it, this is their name, number, address, blood type, whatever you need from me, so I'm not involved in this. Let me know and you'll get it, because I did not do this. If the guy did do this, then he's a bigger imbecile than we ever could have imagined. Because you don't go around killing people when you're a millionaire football player. That just doesn't make any sense. And people are saying, oh, well, it's because of the people he hangs around. You know what? You still got to take responsibility for that. You still got to be understanding that you are not just a normal guy out on the street. People look up to you. People expect stuff from you. Ask Tim Tebow. You know what, Hernandez? You should have been calling Tim Tebow going, hey, be my mentor. Show me the way so I don't get in trouble and don't get wrapped up in a murder case. That is just insane. And then he goes and he starts hiding evidence. So reportedly, hiding evidence, damaging his cell phone, damaging his surveillance cameras at home so that the police can't use them as evidence. This guy, believe me, we don't believe everything we read, so we're going to leave that open until the court and the facts actually come out. But if he did do these things, if he did hide evidence and try to, I don't know, make excuses for some guy that killed another human being, this guy's a buffoon. I mean, it makes no sense. You want to talk about a blessing from heaven blessed down on you to play football and be a millionaire and to be rich and famous, and to throw that away on some knucklehead that killed somebody? We just don't understand it, I guess, here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show, because you just don't do that. Someone kills somebody, you're at the police station the next day singing like Tweety Bird, so you're not implicated and not going through what the guy's going through right now. Am I going to get arrested? Am I not? Supposedly a arrest warrant was supposed to be issued last Thursday, Friday, as we reported on it as well, and now here it is Monday, still nothing. Now, we do understand they want to build a case. They want that case to be airtight. But I'm telling you what, this Hernandez guy, he is a few fries short of a Happy Meal to even be in this mess covering up for somebody, or because he did it covering up. Regardless, Patriots are in a little bit of a hurt on the tight end, and we just hope and pray that they will give Tim Tebow a shot, because we think he will fit in perfectly as a tight end there in the Patriots team. Just saying, we're not forcing the issue, but you got a guy that can run, a guy that will freaking cut, a guy that will freaking run over somebody after he's caught the ball. Give the guy a shot. Try him out. Don't just leave the guy dying on the bench. All right. Moving on for that. This case is going to go on and on and on. Hernandez, they're trying to get evidence as of today. Supposedly they got swamp guys with, snorkel gear or air apparatuses, whatever you want to call them, scuba gear, going down in a lake or a pond by his house, or a river or a stream, trying to find evidence. They've been at his house for hours upon hours over the weekend, trying to dig up evidence on this guy. This is going to keep on going and ongoing. We'll just keep you up to date as information comes in, all right? Now, Bill Cowher, our ex-Steeler coach, we love the guy, did us well, represented our team faithfully and respectfully for many years. Just recently, Sunday morning, was in an auto accident in New York City, but luckily he was in a Mercedes, I believe it was an SUV Mercedes, so the guy was well protected, and he ended up getting out of that accident, or into that accident, without any injury. So we're really happy for him and his family that he is okay, and we hope that he continues to be okay as the next few days pass on. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up our Tuesday show with the Magic Minute. Last Friday we had first, second, and third place winners again. First place going to Tog, who's from Alamogordo, and his buddy, partner in crime, Kalen, came in second. He was just running through people, snapping them off, winning 2 straight matches each game. Both of those guys, real good job, really good decks, smart deck builders. Can't say enough about those guys representing Alamogordo. Then in third place, Robert, who typically tops out at first, was building or was working on a new build deck, trying to work some things out. Didn't work out for him. He ended up taking third. Now, that was a Type 2 tournament. This week on Friday, we're going to be running at the Player Zone, who's our sponsor. Hook us up with all this cool stuff. Hook us up with the house so we can do the show for you all. Now, this is not a real semi-automatic or automatic weapon. This is a fun, safe BB gun for, older teenagers or young men. And they hooked us up with this because this is one of their new items, and we just thought it was cool. So we're just displaying this for them here at for the Player Zone at our show. And they just have all kinds of cool stuff, memorabilia, autographs. I mean, you're talking stuff from the 60s and 70s. You just can't beat the Player Zone. If you need any sporting good or any gaming needs, hit them up on their Facebook, Player Zone, or you can go to riodosomidtown.com, click on the Merchants tab, bam, go over to Player Zone, and you'll get right with them. Now, this next Friday, the Player Zone will be conducting another Friday Night Magic. It's every Friday around 5:30, 6 o'clock. They start. And it's Type 2 two-headed giant. That's right. You can pair up with your best buddy, your best gal, your best friend, whatever you want to call it. 2-on-2, head up, battling out in Magic the Gathering. So, besides the new set of M14 dropping in a couple weeks, that's all the news we have for Magic. We're happy that you all were able to tune in to the show. If you have any comments, feedback, be sure to leave it right there on the feedback page, and we'll be happy to look at it. And even if it's something to do with the show topic, we'll use it if it's feasible and if it has some meat to it. So we're just happy that you all tuned in for another show, and we're just going to keep knocking them out, trying to get more people involved. If you yourself are in the Ruidoso area and would like to come on the show or call into the show, be happy to be free to contact us through the Average Joe Sports Talk Show Facebook page or through the Player Zone. We are always available and open to meeting with new people, especially when it comes to sports. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. We are excited for Magic. It's coming up soon. M14, July 13th will be the pre-release. Don't miss that. And also, the Player Zone got a new setup for sports cards and sports memorabilia, as well as Magic the Gathering singles. So go on, stop in, say hi to them, tell them you saw them on the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. For right now, though, J Real's going to sign out. Peace and much love, and we'll see you on Friday's show. J Real.